Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We begin tonight with breaking news. The North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation has completed its report on the February standoff resulting in the death of Fargo police officer Jason Mosier. Thanks for joining us. Valley News Live was told that the investigation would be complete 30 days after the shooting. Today, we are getting the final investigation report 50 days later. It's very lengthy, and Valley News Team's investigative reporter Ashley Bishop has been sifting through the documents all day and joins us with more. Ashley?
Christine, the report is massive. We have 155 documents, each with multiple pages, some as long as 79 pages. Many of the documents contain officer accounts of their roles during the standoff, from perimeter security to interviewing neighbors along with the Schumacher family. In statements with police, Michelle Schumacher says the fight with her husband began about 5 p.m. He was upset that she had deleted contact information for a job he was interested in. The situation escalated when Marcus Schumacher got a gun and made death threats to his wife. During an all-night standoff, police called Schumacher at least 50 times with no response. He was found dead the next morning at 5:45. The documents contain diagrams of Schumacher's house like this one. In the medical examiner's list, we learned that Schumacher's body was found with 2 bullets in his right arm and also his head. It says that bullets were firing everywhere, hitting garages, nearby hotels, and even a person's car near Broadway, leaving the person stuck. We know at least 4 robots were used to get into the Schumacher home. They failed because it was so cold that night. After the incident was over, police spoke with people in the perimeter about what they saw, what they heard, and what they experienced during the ongoing gunfire. Coming up tonight on Valley News Live at 6, learn about the interaction one woman had with Officer Mosier just before he was shot. Christine?
Thanks so much, Ashley. We have much more information and many of the documents posted on our website. You can read it on valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story on our homepage. To new information, Grand Forks police have released a description of a suspect wanted in an early morning shooting yesterday. The victim, 30-year-old David Gomez of Grand Forks, is recovering from a gunshot wound to the upper body. It happened on the 1000 block of North 39th Street. Police now say one of 3 suspects they're trying to locate is described as a black male who is 6 feet tall. He was wearing a tight black shirt, red bandana that covered the lower half of his face and had closely cropped hair. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to contact police. We also have new information surrounding the grand jury indictment of a Crookston man in connection with a Christmas Day bar fight that led to one man's death. 28-year-old Brock Stroman pleaded not guilty to charges of manslaughter, assault, and disorderly conduct. 36-year-old John Torres of East Grand Forks died of a brain bleed a week after being involved in a fight outside of Captain Crook's bar. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson has the latest on this case.
When my husband's heart stopped, Dad stopped mine.
Back in January, 3 weeks after her husband, John Torres, died following a Crookston bar fight, Rita Sines and her family gathered at the Crookston Justice Center to protest that no charges had been filed in the case. Today, after charges in the case have been filed, she's still not happy the defendant, Brock Stroman, remains free. Stroman posted a $10,000 bond.
A little bit of satisfaction in that charges have been filed?
No. I'm not happy. He got to walk out yesterday out of the courthouse with no handcuffs on. He's not in jail, and I'm not happy.
Details on what exactly happened outside this Crookston bar on Christmas Day are still very sketchy, since charges were filed by a grand jury. It's basically a secret panel of citizens that looks at all the evidence and decides whether or not to file charges.
Earlier, Sines told me her husband, John Torres, walked outside the bar with another man, came back in bleeding from his ear, and said he'd been jumped. Torres later died from a brain bleed. The only public information available from that grand jury indictment says in part, Brock Stroman did engage in fighting, did engage in obscene or abusive language to arouse alarm, anger, or resentment in others. Stroman's defense attorney, Joel Arneson, has also declined to comment, so details as to exactly what happened here remain a mystery. In Crookston, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Brock Strawman has been ordered to have no contact with Rita Signs, that family to stay out of bars. His next court appearance is scheduled for May 10th. We couldn't escape the clouds today, but most of us stayed dry. Let's find out from meteorologist Robert Hahn if the rain will return. Robert?
After some morning rain and drizzle, we did see a lot of cloudiness, but at least some breaks in those clouds and some sunshine around the region, and that allowed us to warm up into the 50s in most areas. We got up to 57 here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Yesterday, 70. So not quite as warm, but still pretty nice out there. It's 55 right now in Fargo, also 55 in Grand Forks, 48 in Wadena, 49 down in Sisseton. Winds continue out of the north around 10 to 20 miles per hour with an occasional stronger gust, and we'll see those winds slowly subside as we head through the overnight hours, but then pick back up again as we head through the day on a Thursday. There are the clouds. We had some breaks in the clouds, more clouds filling on back in, especially off towards the northwest. A weak system will be dropping south out of Canada as we head through the overnight hours tonight and through the day on Thursday, giving us a chance of rain, and some areas could see a little bit of snow. Neither are going to happen here in the Fargo-Moorhead area as we head through the evening hours, dropping through the 50s by the 7 and 8 o'clock hour, into the upper 40s by 9. Tomorrow, another day of dealing with some rain and maybe even a little bit of snow, and we'll have all your forecast details on that, as well as a sneak peek look at your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Robert. Criminal charges will not be brought against two Minneapolis police officers in the shooting death of Jamar Clark. 24-year-old Clark was shot to death by police officers last November during a confrontation with two officers who were responding to a reported assault in which Clark was a suspect. Today, Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman said deadly force was warranted because officers Mark Riggenberg and Dustin Schwarz feared for their lives as Clark was trying to gain control of one officer's gun during a confrontation.
The use of deadly force is justified if the officer reasonably believes that death or great bodily harm to himself or another will likely result if he does not act.
Freeman also said Clark told officers he was ready to die. First, the FBI wanted information from Apple. Now the tech company wants info from the feds. Apple wants to know how the FBI managed to unlock the iPhone of San Bernardino terrorist Syed Farouk. The feds used a third party to break into the phone instead of Apple. The tech company is afraid the FBI might have exploited a security flaw that could put customer information at risk. And as of now, the FBI is not showing any interest in helping Apple. Farouk and his wife killed 14 people in December. Police are reviewing surveillance video after a break-in at a liquor store in South Moorhead. The burglary happened at Brookdale Liquors on 8th Street South around 3 o'clock this morning. That's just north of the Family Fair by I-94. Management tells Valley News Live it appears the suspects are two younger males dressed in bright-colored hoodies. It's believed the men threw a cinder block through the front door and took about 12 bottles of booze. If you saw anything suspicious in the area during the early morning hours, you're asked to call Moorhead Police. Fishing season in North Dakota never actually closes, but on April 1st, anglers will need a new license. And for some, the way they buy a license may change. The North Dakota Game and Fish Department says paper license booklets are no longer available at licensed vendors. Officials say participating vendors will now need to sell licenses electronically. And it's not just fishing licenses that are changing.
I mean, basically, April 1st, North Dakota Game and Fish licensing for fishing license and small game license, basically everything but lottery goes all electronic.
Hunting and fishing licenses can be purchased through the Game and Fish Department website or at licensed vendors. You can also call to buy a license, but you'll also have to pay a service charge. A Minnesota restaurant owner is getting a lot of attention for the way she responded to a homeless man who came in asking for money. Sessa Byrays learned about work ethic at a young age. So when a young homeless man named Marcus came in asking for money, she questioned him.
Why don't you work? You know that nothing is given to me for free. Nothing's free in this world.
Marcus told her no one would hire him. He said he was homeless and had a history of robbery and theft. But Byrays decided to take a chance and hired him anyways. Last weekend, Byrays posted a photo of Marcus to Facebook sharing his story. The post has gone viral, and she has also started a GoFundMe page to help raise money for Marcus to find a place to live. In today's What Is It? A healthy alternative for busy families. It's called Power Plate Meals, and it specializes in fast, fresh meals that are grab and go ready. They are located in West Fargo in the Pioneer Center near Maxwell's. So how does it work? Meals are prepared ahead of time, which you can pick up and reheat. You can also order meals online. Haley Swanson, the co-owner of Power Plate Meals, tells Valley News Live the average meal costs about $6 to $8. Swanson says they hope to open their store by mid-April. Looking